Okay, so solving with fractional. If you just think about your big ideas in terms of equivalent fractions, before we can actually, take these two fractions away from each other, we need a common denominator. So we've got one denominator of 4 and one of 2. Now, some people would be tempted to say we could change them both to out of 8 to get a common denominator. However, if we think about this question, the lowest common multiple that the denominators could be is 4. So the first one's already over 4, so we just need to deal with that second part. So 3x, take away 3 all over 2. We want that to become a denominator of 4 by using equivalent fractions. So we just need to multiply both sides by 2. Now use your grid method. 2 lots of 3x is 6x and 2 lots of negative 3 is negative 6. But please do use your grid method if you need it. So we'd now just change part of the question so we can rewrite that. So we've got 2x plus 3 over 4. Take away this part now because we've simplified it. So 6x take away 6 over 4. And that is equal to 2 from the question. Now, obviously, the purpose of this was so we could simplify things. So now we've got them over the same common denominator, we can actually start to take these two away from each other. So if we've got 2x and we want to take away 6x from it, that's going to leave us with negative 4x. Now, if we look at the next part, we've got 3 take away negative 6. I'm going to write that up here. So 3 take away negative 6. Now, if we think about what's going to happen there, if we take away a negative thing, it's actually going to become a positive thing. So 3 plus 6 is 9. So we've got negative 4x plus 9 all over 4 is equal to 2. So it's now turning into more of an easier question that we could answer by just using the balance method. So let's take this question then. And if we've got a denominator of 4, we need to times both sides by 4 to get rid of that. So we'll have negative 4x plus 9 still on that side, and that is going to be equal to 8. Okay, take 9 from both sides. We've got negative 4x is equal to negative 1. And final step is to just divide both sides by negative 4 to get x on its own. X is equal, so negative 1 divided by negative 4 is going to be a quarter or 0.25, whichever you prefer. Now, one of the common mistakes here might have been to think that your answer was actually negative a quarter, but if you think about that just quickly, if you look at this part here, and you know multiplication, some people are stronger at, negative 4 multiplied by negative a quarter, so that's negative 4 lots of negative 4, that is actually going to give us a whole one. So if you're better at multiplying, you might want to think about it like that. We know that cannot be the answer because the question said negative 1. So in this case, it must be negative 4 multiplied by a quarter. Negative 4 lots of a quarter is negative 1. So that is just really proving that we were right here to say that saying that x is a quarter or 0.25. The final thing to remember is that in the exam you may have some time left over, so use this value, whichever you prefer, the fraction or the decimal, and just quickly substitute it back into the original question. If you substitute it in, you will work out that you've solved it correctly and it is still equal to 2.